Robin, boy wonder, young Ward to Bruce Wayne, and a staple of American iconography, Americana, and apparently, penis shrinking pills. Because that's what we're hearing about now. Burt Ward is actually out there saying that they made him take penis shrinking pills in order to make sure that no one saw his junk or it didn't pop out too much in that costume, which is an amazing thing. In no way is it good, but I completely understand why. I also don't get why they didn't just pad the front a little bit more in order to make sure that wouldn't happen. You know, the last thing we want is like a David Bowie labyrinth situation where you can just see that thing flopping around like a dead fish inside of his pants during the Who Has the Power scene. You know, I mean, David Bowie was rocking those tights and nothing else. And it was just bunk, bunk, bunk. And it's a kid's movie, for crying out loud. No one caught it. That's the problem. Anyway, so it says here, Burt Ward, who played the sidekick Robin on TV's Batman in the 1960s, said in an interview with the New York Post's Page 6 that his bulge was stealing scenes to the point of where he was asked to visit a doctor for shrinking pills. Now, look, Burt Ward, he's getting up there in years, right? Like, I think out of the cast of Batman from back in the day, he's like the last surviving member. So we can't really get maybe anyone here to confirm this. And if he was a younger man, he could sit there and say, I was told to take penis shrinking pills. I told them to go shove it up their own butt. I didn't do none of that. My wang is huge. I mean, he could be trying to regain some of that big dick energy. All right. Anyway, he told Page 6 that the dynamic duo's tight-fitting costumes drew ire from the Catholic League of Decency. Oh my God, the Catholics. Oh my God, the Catholics have no place to talk about decency. Right? They have no place to talk about decency whatsoever. They they thought that Robin had a very large bulge for television. Of course they did. And you know why they were so transfixed on it. I mean, I don't even need to go down that particular line of thinking, that particular pathway of dialogue for anyone listening right now to have a full fundamental knowledge and understanding about just how the Catholics view packages on young-looking boys. We don't need to have that conversation. Because this was in the 1960s, and so it's been nearly 60 years, and guess what? That fight is still happening. So the Catholic League of Decency can take a long walk off a short pier. Anyway, he claimed that the ABC executives asked him to reduce the protuberance by going to a doctor for medication to shrink me up. That's just terrible, man. The things that actors do for money, right? How many actors you hear like, oh, I had to, like look at how many actresses went and got rhinoplasty, which is a nose job, or got their boobs done, or their calves done, or their butts done, or their face done, like look at all of that. And then you're like, well, men have it worse. Oh, well, or they'll say men don't have to do this. And then Burt Ward's like, I had to go and get pills to shrink my junk because the Catholic League of Decency thought it was too undecent. Anyway, he did as he was told, but quickly had reservations, saying, I took them for 3 days, and then I decided that they can probably keep me from having children. So I stopped doing that and used my cape to cover it, which is the better course. I said, you get something else to pad it up, and he's right. This is 1960s medicine. I'm not saying that it's bad, but it's also not as good as it could have been. This is 1960s penis shrinking. This is before the age of Viagra. It just doesn't make any sense. They really did want to make him the boy wonder, didn't they? That's hysterical to me. And like this is great. Last week, Ward, the 74-year-old father of two, received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He said he grew up daydreaming every day about being a superhero. I got it, he said, and I don't think it was an accident. And look, here's the thing: I'm happy for Burt Ward here to get the Walk of Fame. It's an honor. It really is an honor to have that, and him be 74 years old and to get it nearly 60 years after the ending, or over 50 years after the ending of a show, is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So yeah, good for him on that one. I just think it's really, really, really funny that it was all to cover up this. And you could kind of tell from the bulge here, it's not that big of a bulge. Like, just put a little bit extra padding on there and he's fine. But the Catholic League of Decency couldn't contain themselves to this image right here. This to them is like, I don't know, MILF porn to young boys nowadays, I guess, right? That like they look at this and they're just like, oh, I can't contain myself. And to the rest of us, we're just sitting here going like, really? Oh, Hollywood, Hollywood, Hollywood. You're never going to learn. You are never, ever, ever, ever going to learn. A cod piece would have solved this from being a problem. A jock strap would have solved this from being a problem. But no, you told the guy to go and medically alter his body via medication instead of just finding a way at the costume department to not trigger the Catholics. Well, at least we can all laugh about it now, because he did have 2 kids, and he's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And where are the people probably running the Catholic League of Decency? Most of them probably dead and rotten in hell.